Welcome back to the All Nighter. Having a great show, Halloween theme. We are now joined by our first guest, Betty Palmer. Thank you for being here, Betty. Now, Betty, you work. You have a very cool job.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about your job.
Well, other than being a librarian, this time of the year it's real fun because we tell all the old stories and hope for some new ones. Try to introduce people to the ghost, except that she's never made an appearance during our tours.
Now, for those who may not know, who are watching online or aren't from the area, what is the ghost of Willard Library?
Well, we don't know who she is. The best story is that she was the daughter of Willard Carpenter, who built the library but died before it was finished, and his money did not go to his family. It went to the library. And the family sued for the money. They lost the case, and Louise is supposed to have been haunting the library ever since. But we don't really think it's Louise, but we don't know who it is.
See, I often threaten my parents. I'm like, if you don't leave me all the money, I'm going to haunt our house. So it's good to know that people actually do that, and you can get away with it.
They actually do that.
So now, have you ever seen, personally, the ghost?
I've never personally seen the ghost, but I've worked with probably a dozen people who have.
Okay. Now, you mentioned right before we started the interview that you've been on a bunch of different shows, none as luxurious as this, obviously.
Right.
But, or as high class and classy. But what other shows have you been on about the Gray Lady?
We did the Discovery Channel in about 1997. 3 or 4 years ago, we did TAPS. Everybody knows TAPS. And then this summer, we did the Travel Channel. And it's supposed to be on right now, but we haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
Like right now?
Right now.
Don't turn the channel. It's not on, I swear.
This week.
This week,
Last
all right.
week.
Dan, you're a fan of Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
You're a fan
I watch
of
it every once in a while.
Yeah, now, we watch Ghost Hunters. They actually came to the library, too.
Yes.
Did they find anything, or?
They said they didn't.
Ah.
So they spent a lot of time arguing among themselves because they didn't have anything to tell much about us. So.
Ghost Hunters, thanks.
Big disappointment.
So you give tours, though. Like,
We give tours. Every year we give at least 9, sometimes more. And we take you all through the library, show you where the things have happened, and tell all the stories.
That's very cool. I've actually been on the tour. I went last year. I've been a couple times. It really is a great tour. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. I think you were my guide, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you were very good. So from this talk show host on this SCTV 12, she's good. She has my seal of approval, which means
I've been
nothing.
doing it the longest. So.
You've been doing the longest. Now, how did you get into organizing the tours? Like, what made you start doing it?
Well, I wasn't the very first one that organized it, but the adult services librarian, Brian, at that time, decided that he would couple a show about ghosts with our ghost, obviously, with one about witches, and one of the USI professors came and did the witch part of it. But the first night that we were going to do tours, we had not advertised it or anything. At 5:30, we looked out our door and we had 800 people in the driveway waiting to take the tour.
Wow.
And just the Channel 14 drove by, saw all the excitement, and that was kind of the beginning. We've been doing them now for 13, 14 years.
And like your experience, what is the most retold or famous story of the Willard Library ghost?
The best one is the first one. In 1937 or thereabouts, a depression was on, and hobos from the railroad next to the library were allowed to sleep in the back part of the library. And the custodian came in every morning at 3 o'clock to fire up the furnace. And he went into the back part of the library, and he saw a figure all in gray from the top of her head to the tip of her toes, as I tell the kids. And he was scared, dropped his flashlight, picked it up, and she was gone. But he saw her several times after that. Eventually he quit because of her. He was afraid.
She hates janitors, apparently.
Right.
She hates clean. Now, I have one question. Do hobos still sleep at the library?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, like it's sleeping in the children's section. But how can us, go on one of these tours? How can we find out information about it?
Well, you have to call and sign up, and we still have 3 nights this week, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. You just either need, and you can sign up online too,
okay.
or call the library.
What's the website?
Willard.lib.in.us, and then it's on there somewhere.
Okay, we will have it. We'll have it at the bottom.
Yeah.
Of the production.
We have it out there now.
We have it up there now. Oh, there you go. You did great. Wonderful. You know your HTML. I'm proud of you. Betty, thank you for being here so much. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ghost Tours, check them out. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the All Nighter, SCTV 12. Joined now by our second guest, Deborah Cavins is here. Thank you, Deborah, for coming on. You came on very short notice.
It is a pleasure.
Thank you. I'm going to keep, now you are a psychic, and I'm going to keep like that you already knew you were going to be a guest on the show before it happened, jokes to a minimum.
Sorry, I can't read my own cards.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Now, that seems very interesting. But first things first, everybody told me to ask you before we start anything, Paranormal Activity, the movie.
Yeah. I was scared by the first one.
Were you?
Oh, yeah.
Is it real? Is there any accuracy to it, or is it all just a bunch of crap?
I'll tell you what, the actual movie may not be real, but I have been in situations where the same sort of things can happen.
Okay.
I've been at an exorcism and a cleansing where things actually moved.
Okay. See, I don't do that on my Friday nights. I don't go to exorcisms normally.
Evidently not cleansing either.
Nor cleansing. I'm very dirty.
Ouija board? Did you ever use a Ouija board?
That's where the exorcism came from. A friend here at USI, him and his boyfriend had decided to use a Ouija board during a party, and
no story starts out, we were at a party and we bust out the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes from that.
They decided to stay.
The Ouijas?
Yeah.
Okay. The Heebie-Ouijas? Man, so that's crazy. So did you actually partake in it, or were you just there?
No. I have a group of friends that actually do that, and the only reason why I was told about it was because he was a friend of mine.
Okay.
And that way I was able to tell him about the group that does that.
Okay. Now, you are a psychic, correct?
I have been for 20 years, tarot card reader.
Okay. When did you know that you had the gift?
I had went to a psychic fair here in Evansville when it was at the Executive Inn, and a lady had told me that she could not read my cards because I was supposed to be in her place.
Oh, wow.
And so I'd gotten my first deck, and I was just playing around with it, and the people that I was reading for, it was coming true. And at first I thought, well, it was just me knowing my friends, but I started doing strangers. I started doing friends of friends readings, and every time right.
Wow.
So I've got like a 75% accuracy, 75% on the spot, I'm right, and then the other 25% are in denial.
Okay. That's, like, they're wrong. Now, do you have, clearly you've had to see some things reading people's cards. Have you ever seen anything crazy or, expose anybody for doing something? Or?
Yes, actually, I have, and I've had their husband come knocking on my door.
Oh, awesome.
And it was funny because, he told on himself. It was for cheating, and when he came to the door, his wife was with him, and I told him I could even tell him what color shirt he was wearing, and it was red, and he started yelling about, that was not the shirt I was wearing.
I only committed infidelities in my green shirt.
Exactly.
My green adultery shirt.
Exactly.
Damn it.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's gotta be crazy. Have you ever been and I know you're not supposed to, have you ever been just wrong? Just like...
Actually, yeah. I went, I was at the, not this last psychic fair that was at the center. I was at the one before. And there was a gentleman that came in, and it was not just me he was doing this to. He did it to several other individuals that were there. And he was there to prove us wrong.
Oh, really?
So when you sit down in that situation and you don't need any help, it's kind of really hard, to say anything right, because he didn't need anything from me.
That's very cool. What is Dan? I want you to do a reading on Dan right now, because he's very stoic, and no one, his girlfriend's in the audience, and no one can tell. No one knows what's in Dan's head most of the time. I have a pretty good idea.
Well, I don't have the cards with me, but when's your birthday?
31st January.
31st of January. Okay, wow. Control freak.
How'd you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
let me see.
Very much.
The other thing would be is a very strong control of money, to the point of,
Also, yes.
if you stuck a coal up it would be a diamond.
He would stick a coal up his ass. He's done.
I don't know about that, but I won't go that far.
He
but,
showed
you
me,
know.
and then he sold it on eBay and made like $1,000. I don't know why ass coal's going for so much these days. But
Got a gift. I can't help it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's, you know, other than the cards, I do a little horoscopes and some numerology. So.
okay, mine is February 8th, so we're both Aquarius. So what would you say for me?
Okay, but the 8th makes you be able to be very open with people, where his is not so much so.
Also, yes.
Oh, no.
Very
Okay,
cool.
you're right. No, I was kidding.
No, you are very right about Dan. Like, correct. He loves money.
It's kind of scary.
He has a money vault like Scrooge McDuck, actually.
I swim in it every night.
He swims in it every night. But, so do you get a lot of business around Halloween, particularly for...
I do. This is the first real Halloween that the website's been up, so I'm getting a lot of nationwide stuff. Plus, I do a lot of work on Twitter, so I see more people searching for psychics on Twitter, which brings them to me. So yeah, I do get more right now.
Do you ever like tweet somebody some psychic stuff, or?
Oh yeah, I do. I do one-card readings. I've done some for some celebrities. The only one that I'm allowed to say anything to is I've got direct permission from Paul Wall to say that I do readings for him now and again.
Very cool, very cool. And what is the website? How did you start your own business in Evansville?
What it was is I did a lot of I did a lot of readings here for friends and everything, and I come across on the internet. I found a friend who actually designs websites, and he went to a partnership with me, and he designed my website and set it up, and he also optimizes them. So then I get more clicks from Twitter and stuff like that, and also Google. I think that's where I was found, was Google.
That's very cool. And what is the address and of the site to check you out?
Okay, well, it's www.psychictarotreadings.net.
Okay, very cool.
And I also write a lot of blogs, so a lot of the questions that people have, a lot of times are answered on the blogs.
And one last question, because I've never spoken with a psychic before in my life. Could you tell immediately that Miss Cleo was fake?
Actually, I loved Miss Cleo. Don't get me
Call me
wrong.
now for your pre-reading children.
And you have to understand that a lot of the more popular psychics, it's not that they weren't at one time psychic. They probably were. It's just that when you get to the point where you're selling out and it's more publicity than it is actually doing the work, you lose whatever you've gotten.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Deborah, thank you so much for being here.
It was
I
great
appreciate it.
being here.
Thank you. Deborah Cavins, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with more All-Nighters. And that is going to be it for the All-Nighter. Actually, no, I lied. I was going to come back and wrap the show up, but we have a third guest. What? Why would you want to be on this show after those two? Why would you want to follow two of the best guests ever? Why would you want to follow Betty Palmer? And why would you want to follow Deborah Cavins? But somebody does, and I can't believe we got him. Michael Myers is here, everybody. Oh my! I am starstruck right now. Mr. Myers, it is good to meet you. It is good to... Oh, you don't like Jason, do you? Oh, okay. Michael, so what's it like being on TV again? Yeah, so strong sign of time. You looked a lot taller in the movies. But you know what? Napoleon was short, and he controlled all of France and Europe. So you know what? You can have a Napoleon complex, Michael Myers. It's allowed to you. Michael, I hear you're going to show us something. A little something cool. You show us how to carve a pumpkin. That means yes. All right, Michael. I want you to carve me the coolest thing into a pumpkin ever. And... Oh, God! What's in the pumpkin? I don't know how well that turned out. Oh, that is beautiful, Michael. That is beautiful. Happy Halloween, everybody.